Hey folks, welcome back to the second episode of The Insight, a podcast where brilliance meets vision, ideas meet inspiration, and stories meet innovation. Today, we have a very special guest joining us today who has redefined excellence, Dr. K.S. Geetha, Vice Principal of RVCE. Today, we are here to explore her journey of conquering the milestone. And I am Nikita Sunil, your host for today. Without further ado, let's dive into the episode. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
And first of all, we would like you to thank you for sparing your time and joining us today. It is truly inspirational to have such a strong woman who has broken all barriers and reached heights beyond the vision.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure we'll have an engaging conversation and you'll be able to inspire the RVNs around here. So let us start off with the first question, ma'am. Our team had found out that you're the first lady engineer in your family. And what is your message to young girls out there who want to achieve something big? And what more can be done to break down those barriers?
Yeah. I come from a family where, in fact, girls were typically taking up all the stereotypical things of like BSc Home Science and BSc Music, BA Music, and such kind of things. But however, right from the childhood, I was inquisitive to know things much better. And almost like from high school onwards, in fact, my family is full of engineers. And I wanted to be an engineer right from the beginning. So I was pursuing my passion. And in fact, my dad was very, very inquisitive to support my passion. And that's how I became the first engineer, woman engineer in the family itself. Although my mother was little bit skeptical about how I would do that and what would be my prospectus of being a woman engineer. But nevertheless, she also supported me, and that's how I am. And my sister followed me, and the story is later on that again another set of engineers are there from the family.
Yes. So you have stepped into a male-dominating engineering field, and that
Exactly.
to that time, and you have paved the path for all the other
Exactly,
engineers.
because many of them used to comment that what you would do rather after doing your engineering. But my passion was both for teaching as well as for engineering, and right from the beginning I was inclined to become a teacher as well as an engineer. So I thought that combination would work out better for me.
Nice.
So I stepped into this and became successful also.
Don't worry, you've proved yourself by being the vice principal.
Thank you very much.
Ma'am, coming to your professional side, you choose computer applications to industrial drive when your bachelor's was in electronics and communication. What was the force behind that?
Basically, when I completed my engineering course on electronics and communication, I wanted to pursue my master's, and I was looking out for a master's program at NIE Mysore itself. Basically, again, it depended because my parents were not ready to send me outside of Mysore. So that was the first course which started, and it was very, very different kind of a program. Basically, it included both power electronics as well as computer drives, which was an upcoming field at that time. So simulation was something new at that time, and I was very inquisitive to do that, and that's how I ended up doing computer integrated drives for, integrated engineering for industrial drives.
Okay.
So it mainly concentrates both on the power electronics control systems as well as drives.
Okay.
So that is how I was inclined towards that.
Ma'am, so did you have somebody to guide you through that time, or you found all this on your own?
Everything on my own.
Oh, that was really wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Coming to something more recent, you had your trip to Taiwan, and it was during your birthday.
Yeah.
For to forge more industrial connections and with education institutions. Ma'am, what was your experience in Taiwan, and what difference did you notice in educational institutions in India and in Taiwan?
If you look at per se of having insight towards semiconductor in Taiwan, it's something that they breathe in the semiconductors, or they breathe chips in Taiwan. As such, when you enter the airport itself, you will find a big display as Taiwan in the form of chips itself, where they have oriented with respect to the chips itself. And it's just that simply everything what they do, it is inclined towards the semiconductor industry.
Oh,
That is one thing which was mesmerizing me. In fact, whomever you talk to, whether it is an academic institutions or whether it is an industry personnel, or rather even if a small job oriented person, so he would naturally come down and get inclined towards the semiconductor industry, and that's amazing part of it. And according to the academic per se, if you look at almost all the courses are one or the other way they are inclined towards the semiconductor again. So even the arts, liberal arts, everything, where we went to an university called Siang Hung University. There we met a person who was doing political science. Although he was doing a political science and his area was entirely different, but he used to talk with everything with respect to chips and the manufacturing processes of the chips. And that's how it has been imbibed in Taiwan. Which was amazing as such.
Ma'am, so like the semiconductor industry coming in India, so you think forging partnerships with Taiwan will help us students?
Definitely, because RVCE has a roadmap where we are concentrating more towards semiconductors and towards hydrogen. So semiconductor being one of the major field where RVCE want to place its footmarks later on. So as such, as you know, already know that there is a huge push-ups which is happening both in the industry and the government per se. So coming out with lot of schemes and lot of opportunities for youngsters to follow up the semiconductor field. This is where we also felt that we could bring in that know-how as to the different programs what we can do there. So what I went personally was to have a liaison between a university there, which is actually a foundation which has been offshooted from the TSMC itself. TSMC, as you know, it is a very worldwide manufacturing company, and the alumni of that TSMC have offshooted and they have formed a foundation where they are imparting training programs for students. So we want to bring that training program to RVCE here along with their collaboration, so that we can offer some good certification programs or the finishing schools, and that is our aim.
Ma'am, also what major, did you notice or observe any difference between how they teach in educational institutions in India and in Taiwan?
Obviously, language is one barrier.
Yes.
Okay, so there are less English speaking people. However, nowadays the courses are all in English, and they are overcoming their disability of not having the proper language. However, if you look at the depth of the knowledge what they are trying to impart to students, it is enormous. Because with the university where we went, another university called Michigan University, Science and Technology. There we found that all the even a small process like evaporation, around 10 facilities are kept to the students to explore themselves on by hand.
Like engineering students or schools?
Engineering students, right? Especially for every processes of semiconductor manufacturing, there is one complete floor which is dedicated to that. And their kind of teaching is everything in labs. So they teach less of theory and more of hands-on experience, and that is one of the things which again brought us down very much, that students are keen to learn in by experience rather than by knowing things. So that is what I also want to propagate here, that as such from this year onwards we are also trying to push in more of experiential learning or a self-learning, and along with the hands-on in the laboratories, and that is how you can learn better.
So that has been really insightful. So we're going to move into a more practical hands-on experience than a teacher-student interaction on theory basis. Ma'am, as the Vice Principal of RV, what is the best change that has taken place in RVC which has helped the students in your
as such, it is a short period for me to look out as vice principal, but again, definitely as a veteran who has been serving this institution over almost 2.5 decades now, I have been seeing the sea change in the way how RVC has grown itself. And now if you look at, we look at the holistic development of the students in a much more better platform, rather than just being as an academic institution. So we were very good in academics right from the beginning. However, we have shifted ourselves to move towards the research orientation. And with that, even the undergraduate students are exposed to the idea of research and the field of research, where they are contributing in the forms of publications, in the form of patents, and a lot of things. What we are, other than these academic activities, we are also concentrating more towards their development through the extracurricular activities as such. So what I can say that is we are more concentrating on the holistic development of the students.
Ma'am, before engineering, there was almost 200 credits, and now it's brought down to 160 credits step by step. Do you think that's a good change or a bad change?
No, it is obviously good change itself. I cannot say that it is a bad change.
Okay.
Number of credits should not actually talk much about the depth in which we are teaching. Although the number of credits have gone down, we have introduced the number of electives more, and the spread has increased.
Yes.
At the same time, the depth of the core courses have been retained. So we have not compromised anything on the core courses or the fundamental courses which is required for an undergraduate program. There we have not yet compromised anything on that. So there is not much of a difference between 200 credits and 160 credits in the terms of number of core courses what we have brought in. Maybe some of them which were obsolete, we have just removed it out, and which is very, very important for the students for their career, we have still retained that, and to much more depther cases. So since we have brought in the experiential learning component in every course what we are teaching, so definitely the depth of the courses have increased rather.
Okay. So even though the credits have come down, the core content is
Yeah.
Ma'am, after we have signed a lot of MOUs recently with RVCE and industries, so what is the percentage increase in project-based learning for students, and what outcome has it brought because of the MOU?
Yeah, we believe that these MOUs should not be just on papers. Okay, so we see that every MOU has some kind of an outcome for the student. Okay, it could be in the form of live projects which the industries are supporting. Many of the industries now are coming up, opening up themselves as to offshoot some of their problems, real-time problems to the academic institutions. And here we form a team up with the faculty as well as with the students. The model which we normally work out is every problem will be taken up by a set of faculty members who then induct the correct amount of students who are required for that particular solving that particular problem. So in that case, what happens, the students of both second year and third year students are together taken up so that they can handhold each other and learn themselves better. So this kind, it is a problem solving method where the students are exposed to the real time opportunities what they have in the industry. At the same time, they will also be learning in the team also. So that is how it has benefited many students in solving many of the problems. It's a win-win situation for both the industry as well as the academic institutions, because industry also, they are getting the solutions at a much cheaper rate, and at the same time we also deliver according to their timelines. So since RVCE is keeping up this delivery mode very strong, that we comply with that one, so industries are also coming forward to provide us the opportunities for solving their problems.
So it will help students bridge the gap while joining the other industries.
Exactly.
Able to work more
exactly. Another one more thing is they are offering internship. What is happening is right from the second year, if a company induct a student right from the second year and try to give him some kind of a training either in the tools or in kind of small technology what they are using up, and they will be hand holding them both in the second year, third year. Later on, after the third year, they will induct them for regular internship as well as conversion. So this way, the synergy between the industry and the students are developed over the years, and the loyalty or branding also will be taken care by the industry.
So by the time they complete 4 years, they'll already be industry ready.
Yeah, that is how we are also providing the industry ready engineers, and industry people are also happy with us.
Okay.
And one more engagement what we are doing with these MOUs are content development or the curriculum development.
Okay.
Some of these industries are giving us the courses where they have curated the content according to the industry needs.
Yes,
So this is how we are giving the industrial elective for the students.
yes,
So thereby they are hand holding them right in the delivery of the content also. So according to their convenience, we tell them, the industry people, to come either on Saturday and Sundays, or if they are free during the semester, some 1 week or so, they will take continuous classes.
Ma'am, so students get an exposure directly from the industry.
Exactly. That is where the win-win is happening for both the students as well as for the industry.
Yes, ma'am, coming back to your personal side, where did your passion for singing and music spark?
Singing is actually my hobby.
Okay.
And since my mother was also singing, and music is there in the family right from the beginning. And right from childhood, we were taken up for these kacheris where classical singing used to happen, both in Ram Navami as well as in Ganesha festivals. So coming from Mysore, where is a hometown of arts and culture, so music was there in the family. And that's how I picked up, and I did some classical courses like junior and senior. So that also went on side by side.
Ma'am, so if possible, could you sing us 2 lines?
Okay. मणिपुरे जगज्जननी सर्वदीव सुपालिनी अर्ध अनहत कामेशी त्रिकोणांकरवासिनी मणिपुरे जगज्जननी सर्वजीव सुपालिनी अर्ध अनहत कामेशी त्रिकोणांकरवासिनी भैरवी जय भैरवी भैरवी जय भैरवी भैरवी जय भैरवी भैरवी जय भैरवी
Thank you, ma'am. That's really wonderful. You can see that it has been brought up with your family since then.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, in your family, you are the elder daughter. So, as an Indian household, elder daughter has a lot of responsibilities. So, how did you manage both being your academic side and your duties side, especially being an engineer?
Typically, I was brought up with this kind of an environment where responsibility was a part of the thing what I used to do. It normally, almost when I remember, I was in 6th standard when my younger brother was born. So I was in fact doing most of the household work at that time, along with the taking care of my brother, and it just happened that I was involved in every other things what I was doing. And since I was an all-rounder, not just studies, so I think that is how I have been right from the beginning. So responsibility is one thing I don't mind taking up, or rather I don't think that it is an added burden for me. So it just comes naturally, and I don't know, any time you look at me, I place myself where there is a lot of responsibilities, and I take it up as a challenge to see that it ends with a good outcomes.
Well, so you've been multitasking from a very young age. Okay. Well, we see you read a lot of books. And in the current world, seeking for validation is a very big problem, especially with social media and everything. So how do you cross that boundary? And you have...
I don't know why people require validation. See, it is only our hobby which makes us to do things, or our passion to do things. And I don't need some kind of appreciation or validation to be done by anybody. I don't believe in such things. So as long as I'm interested in doing what I want and what I feel good, and that is how I continue doing it, whether it is the regular world, or it is a virtual world or a social media. So normally you find very little posts of mine, or rather I don't share much, and I'm not a person who wants to be known in the area of social media. So I keep myself
Ma'am,
on
so
my own.
what do you want to tell the young people who are seeking for
Yeah,
validation?
see, basically, you should know what you are actually doing it. See, whose sake you are doing it. We do for our sake, and it is not that I should impress others by doing so. See, if I have something good in me, it will be known to people by itself, and you need not show that outside. So, if you believe that what you are doing is correct and you have a strong notion to continue that one, you need not impress that by telling to outside world and doing that. So, you don't need actually the validation from others. As long as you are strong and you are straight, I don't feel that you want to have something that somebody should endorse you, somebody should appreciate you, somebody should validate you, because those things will bring down your confidence level. So once you are confident of what you are doing correct, so you should get going on that. So don't depend anything on the social media, because everybody are like you. See, it is not that social media is something different, but if you strongly believe that the kind of impressions what you get or the kind of validations what you get on the social media, and that is where your confidence level boosts up, and that is not correct.
It might not last long also.
Yeah, it might not last long, because it keeps jumping, because you also as a person, you can't even see more than few seconds, right? We keep on scrolling the things. So it is as good as the same thing for others also. They will just look at your pictures and start scrolling up. So that kind of validation will not last long at all.
Ma'am, as a girl who has broken barriers from a young age, to the current generation girls, what is a message that you want to pass on?
Message is, see, girls are not that I mean, gone are the days where we felt that girls are weak and we are restricted from doing so many things. Nothing like that. Today's world, everybody are quite cooperative, and they create opportunities for girls. It's only thing that we should be little bit aware of where we are and what we are doing, and as long as you are you maintain the integrity and see that what is correct and what is not correct, so you always indulge only in the positive things, and surround yourself with the positive people, and that's how you will get the positive attitude. And with a good attitude and with good confidence, you are definitely going to succeed further. So there is nothing that nowadays to look back and say that okay, we are of the weaker sex and we have to depend on something or somebody for that matter. Nothing as such is there as of now. So it's all depends on how you can utilize the given opportunities to you, and how confidently you can move through or sail through is what is very much required. This is very much required both in the case of family as well as in the case of career. So even if you go out and work outside, it is always that as long as you are correct and as long as you are strong and confident, you can put forth your thoughts and ideas. So nobody is going to stop you. It's only thing this, you should not seek an opportunity, or rather a special place for you to open up. So there is nothing that people will give you way to do everything. It is only thing is how you make your way out of the things what you have is where you can stand better.
So that is a good message even for me. A lot of people in the current world face balancing the work-life balance, and especially you with a full-time demanding job as a vice principal. How do you manage both your institution as a child and your own children?
There is nothing called as a work-life balance as such. If you are interested both in or having passion towards what you are doing, and even at home, it will be the same thing. There is nothing called as a special treatment required for the work front as well as for the home front. Thing is, once you go home, you switch off completely as to what you have supposed to do there, and finish the household work with full passion there. Again, switch back whenever you want to come back. That switching capability is what is required. So you very well discriminate between the professional life and the personal life. So with that, I think most of the women have that capability of switching over between the multitasking what we normally do. So we are at it, we are good at it. So with that capability, what happens, it naturally comes. main thing what is required is kind of positive attitude and the confidence level. So if you are confident as to what you are doing, and if you have the positive attitude and the positive mind frame, which naturally comes with little bit of space given to you, especially women, what happens while doing their or balancing both work and life and all those things, they somehow tend to lose out their space, the me space. Okay, and that should not be done. So as far as possible, maintain that space for yourself. Keep a time for yourself where you can spend some time and think about what you are doing and where you are going or heading towards to, so that you can understand what you are, and that gives you more confidence, and you can actually come make up with whatever shortcomings you have, and again go ahead further.
Ma'am, so that me time is very important, which will give
Very,
energy
very
to the
important.
other
It is
parts
both
of the life.
required for the physical stability as well as the mental stability for a woman.
Okay, ma'am. We'll come to the rapid fire section.
Yes.
So I'll ask you have to give your answers for that. So top two book recommendations.
Top two book recommendations. You Can Win.
Okay.
Okay, and Life.
A favorite place.
Kashmir.
Favorite cuisine.
South Indian.
South India. Your CGPA in college.
CGPA in college 8.5.
Okay. Where were you part of NCC?
Yeah, three Karnataka Girls Battalion.
Well, it was a charming experience for you, or was it a very hard,
Yeah.
physically?
No,
draining
it was one of my passion.
Okay.
And I was also a part of the NCC camp, which took me to Mountaineering Institute at Darjeeling. So where I did a course on mountaineering, and that was the awesome experience in NCC.
Now, if not education, what career would you have chosen?
Army.
Army. Okay. Is it because of the NCC influence?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Your nickname?
Geet.
Geetha. One thing you cannot live without.
Music.
Music. Favorite childhood snack that you miss now?
Churmuri.
Sure. Most rewarding part of your job?
Ah, it's a very tough question. Everything about my job.
Job is rewarding. Ma'am, as a vice principal, you encounter students on a daily basis. What is one such experience that you found was really mind blowing or totally out of context that you were like, oh, this really happened?
This is not as a vice principal, but as a chief superintendent of examinations,
Okay.
where one such case of a malpractice where I saw that a group of students indulged in that action.
Group of students?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it just took me off just like that.
Ma'am, approximately how many students?
Some 3 to 4 students.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, this is our last question that we would like to end off with. We ask every speaker. Ma'am, with all the knowledge that you have right now, what would you speak to your younger self?
It's actually keep going. In fact, if I look back and see that as a young Geetha also, it was the self-confident and passionate, and to a girl who wanted to know things much better. And today also I have the same spirit. So I don't feel that I have lost something which I could have done that one. So nevertheless, I feel that, okay, I have something more to do. Okay. And that's what I look forward towards that.
So no regrets?
No regrets.
Okay. So thank you, ma'am. It was really wonderful, and thank you for sparing the time. Your insights have been really grateful, both
you.
for your professional.
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity. This is one such wonderful initiative by Spark students, and I would congratulate every one of you for doing this, because it just gives a platform for people to share their views and thoughts, and it's wonderful initiative.
And we also get to know you better. All the RV people will get to know you better. Thank you for the insight. It has been really meaningful and insightful for everyone.
Thank you. Ma'am. Thank you.
You're here, and we thank you to spare your. Sorry. You ready?
dancing later.
Oh, okay.
That some more. The starting word is not coming.
Or is it a classical song?
Yeah, it's a class.